Hey everybody, this morning we're going to be looking at the Plug Doctor from Home Depot. Guys, I'm trying to stay within my themes, which my major themes are basically witch, carnival, and spooky farm, which is like got all your scarecrows and that kind of thing. And then I got some, smaller my nautical theme's starting to really bulk up with all these releases from Lowe's for the nautical with my ship. But anyway, I was saying that to say, this guy, I guess he can fit in my graveyard. I do try to do a graveyard, swap it off with the scarecrow stuff. So I guess he can do that. I'm going to try and squeeze him in with my swampy nautical theme next year. But honestly, he was just too daggum cool not to get. I kept seeing videos and I'm like, yeah, it's cool. And I've always had a thing for a Plague Doctor. I just think their whole history and their look is just, come on. Tell me that's not the thing of nightmares. So I got it. I got it. So we're going to look at it today. It's supposed to be pretty awesome. And I know the videos I've seen of it, it looks pretty awesome. It's got, I think it's arms, its head, its body. I think the staff comes at you some way or another. 3 different phrases. Well, right there. Yeah, it says that down there. So let's get it together and see if I like it as much as I think I'm going to like it. Here you go. Got the instructions as per usual on the inside here. Let me see what we got. Something is holding this down heavy. Okay, so the undercarriage of this little cardboard piece, which you think you just pull off, actually has some poles. And here we go. Here it is down in here. So let me get all the pieces out for us and we can get started. All right, everyone, here's everything that was in the box. I know you're probably wondering about his head. It's pretty big. Look at my hand on just his beak. Pretty awesome. Hat is a little scrunched up in the back. I'm gonna have to let it fill out. This is interesting. I haven't seen this on a prop before. This arm has this hinge, and it has one here as well. So that's interesting and I guess cool. Because I'm assuming it's going to mean a lot of movement. I did set the base over here, typical base that you snap together, except for this little piece that wobbles around. Again, I'm thinking that's where the staff is going to move. So, nice boots, real boots, not clown boots. They actually have some substantial heft to them. Outdoor rated plug, instructions. Outfit feels pretty good, but I haven't unfolded it, and I'll address that later when we put it on. Let you know what I think about it. And this hand with the lantern, it looks like my lantern is supposed to be attached. Obviously, yeah, he's going to be holding that. So I don't know if it came together and got knocked off in the box or whatever, but I'll put it back together. This is really heavy, guys. This mechanism for him, heavier than usual. Got a lot going on, a lot more than usual. So, and while I'm back here, might as well go ahead and get this out of the way now. I love that it has a lights only. Then of course your sensor and your step pad, and it does have a jack where you can put in the multi-prop thing. Of course, there's plug in for your power, volume. Go ahead and put that half like I always do. All right. Well, that's it. Probably about your normal amount of pieces. Here's your staff head, which they had encompassed in the foam, which I thought that was nice. They wanted to make sure that the staff head didn't get damaged. All right. Let's get to going. All right, catch you up real quick. I snapped the 2 sides of the base in. Then I put the boots on, which are C. And you can see the tip of his boot there. And then the next thing you do is put these two poles, which as you can see, his right is D, his left is E. And then you put the whole costume over it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, they said put the whole costume over it. I had a hard time with his cape. Let me show you on this picture. This part fitting over it because it's sewn in. So I flipped the whole thing over and pushed it down. Whereas you tried to put this cape part through, you know, those two poles that are coming up, D and E. It's so tight and you're bending them. So I just don't see how that's possible. So I just flipped the whole back of the cape over and set the rest of the costume down like it told me to. So hopefully that'll work out in the end and I can just flip it back over before I attach the head and other stuff. So there's your IR sensor. It's already attached, built into the front. And it's got this lining to it, like crinoline. And feels pretty substantial for a costume. I mean, not anything to write home about, but better than average. I'd say a step and a half more than average. All right, all right, guys. The only thing I've done so far is I attached the main mech, which is part F, and just a little different. Its push pins are on the side. You know, most of the times it's either front or back, but for some reason this is on the side. So, you know, no big deal, just different. Went ahead and connected his IR sensor, and the next thing I'm supposed to do is put this whole, sorry about my dogs playing in the background, put this whole costume on top of him. Now, it says to put the whole pull the whole costume up and then put his satchel around him. I guess they want the satchel around his shoulder and stuff before you put his head on. Second prop I've gotten this year that didn't have all the parts. So I don't have the satchel. No big deal. I'll call them. If I get one, I get one. If I don't. But just so you know, if you get this prop, you pull the costume up, you put the satchel around his shoulder so it's hanging down by his side. All right, well, let me pull his costume up. All right, guys, I pulled his costume up, and I wanted to show you something real quick. You know, his outfit is, it lights up around here, so you have a cord up at the very top. So make sure you feed that cord down through. So I wanted to show you that. That's a little different. And also just remind you, fortunately, the speaker is up front, which I love. Yay. Unfortunately, so is the plug-in. So make sure you add your power adapter before you pull up the costume, just to make it easier on you. So just wanted to show you those two things. His costume is very billowy. I mean, it's quite the dressy affair. And I was right in flipping this way to get the costume on, and then now I just flip the back side back. And we are good to go. So just wanted to show you those two things. Your plug here, and remind you, plug your power in before you pull up his little outfit, or you're going to struggle a bit. All right, everyone. My bad. I just realized when I was attaching the arms that my arms were opposite. What was supposed to be his left was his right. So I started looking, and of course it was, as we say, operator error. I screwed up. So where I screwed up is when I attached F. Remember I told you these were on the outside? I was so busy or preoccupied with that I put it on backwards. So speaker is still facing forward, but now, and you know, I had the complaint about make sure you put in your power cord, or else you wouldn't be able to get to it very easy because of his costume. Well, that's why I had it on backwards. So, mea culpa. So sorry. So, spinning that around, now my correct left arm will be on the correct left side of him, and everything will go. But I just wanted to show you that. Sorry if you're following me step by step. I'm sorry. But wanted to show you my error before I go any further. So, all right, now I'm going to pull his dress back up and get his arms on. All right, guys, just to show you, connected his arm piece in here, and he has two plugs here. Well, one plug, white to white, connect that. Then you put on the upper part of his arm that's holding the lantern, and it also has a white plug that you connect right there. All right, now for his left side arm, which is the one with the hinges, so God help me. All right, guys, I wanted to show you real quick. His left arm goes in here. Now, this has a spot, and they give you 4 or 5 cotter pins, so I'm assuming there's going to be more. I'm not going to put these cotter pins in. They have proven to be quite the pain in the butt to me to get back out. So since I'm taking this prop right back apart, I'm not going to do that. But just know that you put a cotter pin in here, and then you do his red. And this is outdoor rated and a pain in the butt as well, because it's got that little notch that you got to line up with this little notch on this side. Y'all, this hasn't been a fun build. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not been a hard build, but it's definitely not a fun one. And you almost need 2 people, because this thing that's caused problems since the beginning is so heavy. It weights down the costume when you're trying to fit your arms up through the costume to get them seated in their fort housings. It just wants to pull everything down. It's just not a fun build. Not a hard, but fun. Not a hard build, but not a fun build. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that out there. All right, so that is his left arm. Moving on. All right, guys, the only thing I've done now is the bottom part of the cane is M. The middle section, they join. You just stick them in together and turn counterclockwise. Then you attach it to his hand that's holding a bit of the staff. So same thing, turn counterclockwise. And then your O piece has another one of those outdoor rated but pain in the butt, because it's got the little notch. So you got to line up the little notch and the 4 prongs. Connect, it's a red wire. Connect those and stick it down in here, and then put this on counterclockwise again to lock into place. And now you have your staff, and it didn't tell me to do it, but I went ahead and put it on that little wobbly piece part of the frame that we saw at the very beginning of this build. So that's where we're at. All right, guys, he is finally put together. And he is wonderful to look at and admire. I'm going to push him a little bit so he can get this hallway light on him a little bit. I'm sorry about the lighting in here, guys. I usually do try to do a lot of them in the she shed that has better lighting. But Tropical Storm Debbie is coming down on us. So I just decided to do this in the house since the dogs are a little scared. Anyway, here you go. He looks fabulous. He's also extremely tall. Now, I know the box says 7 foot, but I got him together, and I was like, no. And sure enough, I measured him. He's 7.5 to the top of his hat. This was not a fun build, guys. His head goes into a fork mechanism. There's one, the light system I showed you, and it had the push plug-in thing at the top. That is on his head. Mine was actually squished together. So not only is it 2 little prongs with the little notch taken out of it that's already hard to line up, but mine was bent. So that was a pain in the butt to fit together. His cord that comes from his head, which is a regular cord that just, pushes in, which is nice, is extremely short. So you really got to get up underneath there and dig to find the end that connects to his head to connect it to the piece that goes to the mechanism. And all this while you're fighting this heavy outfit to stay on. So, I've put together every 12-footer that Home Depot has by myself. And it wasn't as peanut butter as this, except for the witch. The witch, oh my God, that witch. Anyway, yeah, if you ever want a good laugh, look at my unboxing and assembly of the HD Witch on my site. You'll laugh. Anyway, other than that I would highly recommend you have somebody help you just to hold the costume while you're connecting stuff. It's self-explanatory. That's what I said. It's not a hard build. A hard build to me is when you're like, what? How's it supposed to do? What? No, it's easy peasy, self-explanatory. Any dummy can put it together. It's just hard without help. All right, enough about that. Here he is. Let's plug him in, see what he does. I'm going to pause for a second. Oh, look at that. That's a nice shot right there. I'm going to pause for a second, guys. Turn off all the lights in the house so we can get the full effect of his lights.
The pestilence is here. I can sense it. Bring me your stick. It is my duty to rid the world of it.
Guys, watch his stick. The way he punches it out at you. There you go. All right, at the very end, in case you couldn't pick up on it, when he stops speaking, you can hear the motors and you can hear the mechanisms, which is a pet peeve of mine. However, when he is speaking, and I hope you could tell, it's very loud. That's half volume, and he's very loud and the clarity is great. So as long as he's speaking, you can't notice it. I'm not moving right now because I don't want to set off a sensor while I'm speaking, but I'm assuming that these lights, and if you notice his eyes are changing, when you set it to lights only, this is what it's going to look at like, which is, oh my God, guys. I wish you could see or fully understand the hypnotic effect of those eyes. I know a lot of people don't like, they think it adds cartooniness to props sometimes, but it's almost hypnotic watching his eyes. So I'm in love. It was worth the build, but it's an awesome prop. I'm very happy I purchased it. I am going to move now, which is going to set him off again. And I'm going to try and get up close to those eyes because I want you to see the hypnotic nature of that. So here we go.
This lavender in my mask is barely covering your stench. Bring me the leeches. It is time to cure you of your ailments. It is too late. Another name in the death toll. What is your last wish?
All right, I'm going to unplug him, guys. Turn on some more lights here and get back. But real quick, this video this is almost a 20-minute build, so that tells you with me editing out, it's not a quick build. This guy is fabulous, absolutely wonderful. The only negative I can say, the build time and just my personal pet peeve. I don't like being able to hear the motors after he finishes his sentence, but luckily after he finishes his phrases, it's a short little bit that he continues to move, so you don't hear it that long. And honestly, for the way he looks and everything, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to let that pet peeve of mine go. This may become its top 3 of my favorite props this year. And I wasn't even going to get it. So happy I did. I'm teetering with giving it 10 cauldrons, if you're wondering what I'm doing. Really, really specials get 10, and he's close. But I'm going to pull back on the reins a little bit. I'm going to give him a 9.5, a 9.5 cauldrons out of 10. Just take away for the difficulty in the build and the sound after he finishes his phrases. And one thing I also forgot to tell you, when you attach his head, there's a cotter pin on one of those fork prongs as well, for when you're assembling for any length of time. They give you 4 cotter pins, so you use 2 and you got 2 as backup, so that's nice. All right, guys, find a place, do what I'm doing. Find a place for this prop and get him. He's fabulous. I mean, he really is. He truly is. I'm highly impressed. Make yourself a stiff drink. Have that before you assemble, and I think you'll be fine. I'm going to have to contact them about his missing satchel, but other than that, I am extremely pleased. So I highly recommend getting him. He is nice. He is cool. And I can't film and I can't describe the lighting he has. It's wonderful. I know people knock it, but when you see it in person, you're going to love it. All right, enough. Thank you for your time. Please like, subscribe, and share. And go get this guy. Highly recommend. Till next video, stay bubbly.